Chad Daybell is due in court on April 1st. And if you don't know who Chad Daybell is, you're going to learn today, and we're going to learn it really quick. Okay, I'm going to give you an overview of who Chad and Lori Daybell Vallow are. Okay? Chad was an author. He lived in Idaho. Okay? Lori, she was a mom, a hairdresser. She lived in Arizona with her husband Charles and their kids. Okay? Idaho, Chad with his children and his wife, Lori, in fucking where did I just say? Arizona, with her husband, their children. Okay? Children. Lori has Colby, Tylee, JJ. Charles also had 2 sons. They're not really involved in this, so like we're just gonna throw them out because they're not really involved in this. So Colby, Tylee, JJ. Chad has like 5 kids. They're not involved in this at all. Throw them out. Doesn't matter. Okay? So Chad's basically living with Tammy. His children are all older. His wife, Tammy, their children are all older. Doesn't really matter. Isn't really like pertinent to the story. Okay? So they both have children. Anyways, Lori is part of the LDS church. Chad is part of the LDS church. If you get where I'm going here, you get where I'm going here. Okay? This is an extreme kind of like religious cult like thing. Anyways, Chad starts writing apocalyptic fiction. Okay, like kind of religious apocalyptic fiction. Lori, being Delulu crazy, she starts to read Chad Daybell's books. She loves them, okay? Hops on the train. She starts to change, okay? She starts to take them as like God's gospel word. Lori goes to a convention, meets Chad Daybell. Chad Daybell sees Lori. Now, Lori's an attractively, like, a nice, attractive woman. Okay, she's a blonde, attractive woman. Walks up to Chad. Chad sees her. She's obsessed with him. Okay, she's like, sign my book, please. Sign my book, please. And he's like, hey, hey, hey. And he tells her, baby, we've been married like 7 lifetimes. She's like, all about it. Okay, all about it. She's like, oh my God, we did? Right? This is where this all started. Okay? That was in October of 2018. Now, again, Lori married. Again, Lori married, Chad married. These two want a canoodle. Okay? They want a canoodle. Now, that was in October of 2018. October in like January 2019, some shit happens with Lori and Charles, her husband. He calls the police. Police are called like a few times within this period of time. Um, it's a lot. Okay, that we're gonna have to deep dive into. But just know that Charles is like, she's crazy. Okay, my wife's insane. He's calling the police. Like, I thought she was killed my children. Okay, he came home. He's like, he thought that he was like trying to get them to break into his house because she was being crazy, cuckoo, delulu, taking money out of their accounts and shit. Insane. Now, Lori and Chad stay in contact, and they are talking in email. They're going on podcasts together. They're starting a budding relationship. Okay, their relationship is going, and it is all based off of this crazy, delusional, fictional, like apocalyptic, weird twist on the LDS church that Chad was putting. Basically, like think of him as like a Manson, right? He's like a cult leader at this point. Okay, there's a lot of people that are believing the shit that he is saying, and I don't know why, because it's still the craziest shit you will ever hear. That's why you need to like keep up with this trial, because I'm going to tell you about the crazy shit that it is. Now we're going to get into an important key player here. Alex Cox. This is Lori's brother. He's very important. So please remember his name. Now, during this time, from about January, February until July, Lori and Charles were trying to work it out, not really trying to work it out. It's a whole big mess. And they were separated. Okay, they separated. They lived in separate homes. Okay, let's just say they lived in separate homes. Now, Charles goes to pick up JJ, their youngest son, okay, for school. And Charles ends up dead. Crazy story. Basically, he goes in the house, a fight ensues. Look, we can break down all these details. I'm going over the quick version here. Fight ensues. Alex ends up pew-pewing Charles. He ends up dead. I told you guys this story is insane. Basically, after that, Lori packs her little ass up, moves to Idaho, sees Chad Daybell because they've been communicating this whole time, having a relationship this whole time. And then Tylee and JJ, so Lori's daughter and son, end up missing. Nowhere to be seen. They're gone. And if that isn't weird enough, Chad's wife mysteriously ends up fucking dead too. Weird. Anyways, Lori and Chad end up getting married, okay? And they fly their happy asses to Hawaii. Guess what? Children were still missing. Tammy's dead. Everybody's like, where the fuck is Lori and Chad? Like, you're supposed to be, like, where are they? Now, the court told Lori, look, you have X amount of days to produce your children because she kept saying, oh, I know where they are, I know where they are, I know they are. Okay? They're safe, don't worry. That was a bunch of bullshit. They were not safe. She did not, well, they were not safe. I think she knew where they were, but they were definitely not safe. In the midst of this in December, right? They catch up to Lori in Hawaii in February, but in December, Alex Cox ends up dead too. Natural causes. I think it was mostly karma though. But guess what? Since Alex Cox was dead and Lori misses the deadline to produce her children, they start digging. And they start following Alex's Cox's like GPS and shit from his phone. And guess where he was? Guess where he was in September when the kids went missing? He was on Chad Daybell's property. That's weird. Why the fuck would Alex be on Chad Daybell's property? I don't know. Well, guess what? They go out to Chad Daybell's property. They go to Chad Daybell's property, and guess what they find? The kids buried on Chad's property. Now, Lori's already seen her day in court for the kids and Tammy. And guess what? Guilty. Chad was supposed to be in that trial together, okay, with Lori. He got it separated. Now, interestingly, the most interesting part of this is the death penalty situation on this. Lori was going to go for the death, or they were going to go for the death penalty on Lori because of some discovery issues. They took the death penalty off the table, but Chad still has the death penalty on the table for him, which is so crazy and weird. Anyways, this is a really crazy case, and you're going to want to know all about it, and I know all about it. I just recited all that shit from my brain, and that's not even a quarter of it. That was a brief overview, and we've been doing this for 7.5 minutes, so follow me.